All right, good morning. Been doing a lot of these lately. Some of these I've posted, some I haven't. This morning, be short and sweet. I'm going to talk about Grant Brace, one of our kids. You've heard me talk about him. You've seen him in the gym this summer. I'm not sure exactly when he arrived. The long story short, for those that don't know, Grant is a wrestler. Has wrestled basically his entire life. I think we've got a picture of him somewhere where he's 5 years old and he had broken his arm, so he's got a picture of his cast in his wrestling singlet, and he's 5. I mean, he's a little tapper. Grant came to the gym at 10 years old to get better and stronger for wrestling, and he certainly has done that. I won't go into all the history and everything, but there's a lot of things that have gone on and taken place. And he grew up in the gym, and his family moved away. He's 15 years old, maybe 16. And they moved to Alcoa, which is just East Tennessee, 2.5, maybe 3 hour drive, depending on how you drive. And Grant's stayed with us off and on and come and visited. Graduated this year and signed on with the Cumberlands. I should really look to see where that's at, but let's just say it's between Knoxville and Lexington on that side of Kentucky, somewhere in there. And he's going to be wrestling, and he starts his freshman year of college, a couple weeks, 3 weeks at the most. So this is kind of a tribute to him, but the thing is like, even as recently as this morning, there are some things that we've talked about working on, and just due to lack of time and those types of things, we haven't quite gotten to them. So I was going to show Grant a couple of exercises, stretch-wise, and some things to work on to help him with his clean grip in the front squat and power cleaning. And the session turned into one where, as it is with teenagers, and Grant is one even though he's 18, you got to really kind of squelch a lot of things and keep them focused. It can be a chore, and that was true this morning. He wanted to talk about an idea he had, and I'm like, I have to go to work and you're going home today. So as coaches, when we're dealing with teenagers, you got to keep them in the road. And to Grant's credit, he received. Now, he didn't like it, and Melissa didn't like it either, for that matter. But we have to stay after the task at hand. So the long story short is, way eclipsed what he thought he would do. Grant, because due to a lack of flexibility and just simply doing it, has always front squatted with that cross hands. And he's done, I want to say 365, which is a solid front squat. This morning, did a double with one of the last rep paused with 275 the day after a heavy squat day with the clean grip in the squat. So we know he's got plenty of strength. It's something that if he will work on it, doesn't have to be long workouts, just think short sessions, he's going to get more adept. In short order, by the end of the year, if he chooses, he can be front squatting a PR with the clean grip, which in turn makes him better to do any of the Olympic lifting or power cleans and stuff for wrestling and those sort of things. But we haven't power cleaned or done any cleans, and we worked on that. And Grant finished with 100 kilo. He actually did a full clean with it because he had to get all the way down in the hole to finish the lift. But there were a couple of times he tried to talk himself out of it, and he actually missed it. He actually got in the hole all the way full clean and just caught it in his hands and ended up dropping it, and had to actually started falling back. So I had him just push it away, and he took a couple of quick attempts at it again, and it was in his head. We took a few minutes, but I kept on him and pushed him, and he comes back and gets it. And so the lesson there is, and I'll add, like Punch and Melissa were squatting light this morning, but I had them doing some from the bottom up squatting. So they had to start below parallel to feel the position of how to stay reasonably upright and pushing back, leading with the back of the head, and making sure that those knees are not traveling forward or they're doing anything that's going to make them drop the chest out of the hole. And it's awkward, it's hard, and it's probably uncomfortable. But they both saw immediately where the positioning came into play, and little things that they do from the top, like Melissa has been taught early on in her career to tuck her chin. And what happens as soon as she does that, she always leads with her chest. So it's one of those things that we got to find a way to lock in place, do whatever you have to do to feel tight, but as soon as she drops the head, the weight goes where the head goes. And so today is about not selling yourself short and digging in, and that failure is never the worst thing. Grant failed that first 3 attempts, then he came back and got it. Now, he wanted to talk himself out of it, but that's our job as coaches and mentors and parental type people in these kids' lives. I didn't say push until they break. I didn't say push and hurt their feelings. When you see that someone can do it, it is incumbent upon you, it is your responsibility to push that person to give their best effort. If you fail, then you have material to work with that allows both the athlete, pupil, and the coach, mentor, adult, whoever that may be, it gives you material to work with where you can find the adjustments, where you can make that person successful. And so I'm always going to accept failure with your best effort. What I find very difficult to deal with is when people quit. And when you give up on yourself, you guarantee the results. When you're still swinging, you got a chance, and that's all you can ask for. So as I sign off today, I've said this before, Grant gave both Melissa and I each a card, which was very sweet, very thoughtful. And Grant's been a big help. He's helped me in the gym in the mornings and certainly in the evenings quite a bit. He's helped pull some slack, cleaning the gym and just with projects and stuff like that. He helped me make the standards for the Strongman Highland game stuff we're going to be using. So, I mean, we have certainly benefited, and I hope that he's enjoyed his time here. But Grant said it in the card, and it's something that he picked up from what I said, and this is one of those full circle moments. I told him just because he moved away that he would always be part of the gym. And so I tell people, once you're an ogre, you're always an ogre. And even those people that, I've had to invite to leave, they're still ogres. I'm still going to be willing to talk. I may not let you come back to the gym, but I'm always willing to be helpful if I can be. As with Grant is family, he comes and stays with us and that sort of thing. So, Grantley, go kick ass at college. Know that not only myself and Melissa, but the entire gym family love you and want to see you be successful. We're a phone call away, a message away, and so forth. So, knock it out of the park, brother.